Welcome to our live interview with the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle, powered in part by Classic of Denton. Well, good morning, everybody. We are live here on DentonRadio.com, as we do every Monday, where we sit down with the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle. Today, we are with the one and only Brett Vito, talking Denton sports and getting an update on all things that are happening in the athletic world. Brett, what's been going on?
Well, the school year's kind of winding down here, and it turns out this is going to be a pretty big week for the University of North Texas in terms of its athletic program. A couple of exciting things going on this week. Maria Konnikova, or Konova, I never pronounce her last name. I just have to spell it right in the paper. But Maria is going to the NCAA singles tournament in tennis. Cool. She is in her junior year at UNT. She's been a really good player for them for a number of years. She's from Russia. And the way NCAA tennis works is it's a team event, but once they get down to the team tournament where a team plays a team, they go all the way through to the end, and then afterwards they have a singles tournament with the top 64 players in the country or so.
Wow.
Maria was, I think I mentioned the last time I heard, she was the second alternate to get into the tournament, and enough girls dropped out that she got in. So we're going to find out tomorrow who she's going to play. But this means that she's one of the last 64 singles players in the country that was invited to compete in this. She's been nationally ranked pretty much the entire season and has had some pretty good wins over nationally prominent opponents.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's unusual for a player from a Group of 5 type school, outside of the power leagues like the Big 12, the SEC, for anybody to make it, because she doesn't have the chance to play as many ranked opponents as those girls in those leagues that are consistently facing other programs from those top leagues. Mm-hmm. So North Texas has never had anybody qualify, as far as they know, for the singles tournament. So Maria's going to be the first one, and she's going to go. She'll find out tomorrow who she's going to play, and she'll be one of the 64 girls with a shot at the NCAA singles title.
Wow.
Going into the tournament. So that's pretty exciting for North Texas. They're real excited about that. And if you want to learn more about Maria, we're going to have a feature story on her in Wednesday's paper the day the tournament starts. We're going to wait to run that till Wednesday because she'll find out who she's going to play tomorrow, which will enable us to add that to the story. So that's coming up this week. The other thing going on in North Texas is this is the week of the NCAA West preliminaries. Now, I know that that's not a term that everybody's very familiar with, at least, unless you follow college track, which the amount of people who follow college track is probably pretty small. The way college track works is you go to your conference meets and your meets throughout the year. A certain number of athletes qualify based on times or heights or whatever. At the end of the year, the top athletes end up going to 2 meets, one on the west side of the country, one on the east side of the country. They're called the preliminary meets, and the top athletes from those 2 meets, the ones that qualify, get to go to Eugene, which is where the big national track meet is every year. North Texas has a host of kids that are competing this week. Bailey Ashmore, who we will have a feature on in tomorrow's paper. She's going to be competing in the pole vault. She's a sophomore this year. Brianne Eccles will be in the long jump. Christian Archuleta, who's probably one of the girls that has the best chance to get out, she's going to compete in the javelin. On the men's side, Javier Lopez Ibera, another javelin thrower. He has probably a good chance to potentially get to the national finals. And then North Texas also has James Cole competing in the 200 meters. He'll also team up with Alfred Tribble, Dominique Drayton, and Abden Campbell in the 4x100 in that meet. So they will be competing in that meet. That'll be an exciting deal for them. And potentially North Texas has gotten athletes through the NCAA finals before, and that's always a neat deal because there's only a handful. I think it just depends on the event, but I think it's the top 12 that get through to the national finals, and then that way, you're in there competing for a medal at the national meet. So we'll see if North Texas gets anybody through. Since the last time I was here talking sports, the other thing that happened in North Texas was their softball coach Tracy Key resigned after the year. They had their 4 straight losing season and were bounced in the first round of the conference tournament, ironically by Middle Tennessee, which wasn't supposed to last very long in the tournament either. But they won the conference tournament, went on to the NCAA regionals. They got bounced in they went 2-0 in the regional, but North Texas has decided to go in a different direction, so they're in the market for a new softball coach after Tracy Key resigned. So in the next few weeks, we'll probably see where North Texas turns in terms of finding a new coach to guide that program. They've got a good base to work with there. I mean, that field over there is actually really nice, and they did upgrade it a couple years ago, put a new ticket booth / restroom facility there and took out the temporary restrooms. So, they've got something to sell there, and it'll be interesting to see what direction they end up going. So that's something to be on the lookout for. You never know when they're going to make a decision on that, but that should come down in the next couple of weeks. And on the high school realm, things thinned out pretty quickly over the last couple of weeks in terms of baseball and softball. High school teams in the area that are still in the mix for a state championship, but one of the teams that's always very good and goes deep into the playoffs is in it again. Argyle's baseball team will play Pleasant Grove in a 1-game playoff at 7:30 on Thursday at Rockwall High School. And the interesting thing about that is Argyle is traditionally a big-time power. They actually had a player drafted in the first round a few years ago.
Wow.
A Major League Baseball draft signed a huge bonus of probably in the ballpark of $1 million. I'd have to look to see where he ended up signing, what his bonus was. But he was a very talented player. They've always got a good team, and they're going to play Pleasant Grove. Like I was saying, the interesting thing about that is that's the 5th year in a row. This is going to be the 5th year in a row they played Pleasant Grove in the playoffs.
Wow.
These two teams are always very good. They're the best among the best in the region, and they always end up running into each other. Argyle wanted a 3-game series because they're probably a little deeper than Pleasant Grove. They ended up losing the coin flip, so it kind of all comes down to 1 game on Thursday, and if they can get by there, they'll have a really good chance to, continue a run. Well, they'll obviously get to continue the run, but, that would put them in a pretty good spot, to maybe potentially, go all the way and win a state title. So that'll be a big game this week in terms of the high school realm. But other than that, everything is kind of filtered down a little bit here to where the last few things going are track for North Texas and the baseball playoffs. So.
Love it. Super, super cool. Well, guys, that is your rundown on all things Denton sports. Make sure you tune in every Monday at 2 where we're sitting down with the writers of the Denton Record-Chronicle. But in the meantime, you can also make sure you pick up a copy of the Denton Record-Chronicle or stay tuned at DentonRC.com. Brett, thanks so much for coming by the studio. We always appreciate having you here, man.
All right, thanks.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.